want to make sure you are informed about exactly what's happening here in OKC when it comes to our local law enforcement. So each month we invite the Oklahoma City Police Chief Wade Gourley onto our show to discuss a wide range of topics. So today Chief Gourley joins us once again. Welcome in, Chief.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Always good to see you every month here. Love that we do this, get to catch up with you. So first I want to talk about recruitment a little bit, because it's something we had talked about, I think, a few weeks back, just about the need for officers, different employees within the department. And I know you guys held an event this past weekend, a recruitment event. So give us an update on recruitment here and how we're doing.
So we're about 184 police officers down right now, and we are actively recruiting, working to fill those positions. I've got 14 recruits in our field training program right now. I've got another 37 that are in the academy, and we're going to start an academy in January with 43. And our plan is to run 3 classes through the year of 2023. So we're hiring for a class in April, and then we'll be starting another one shortly after that as well.
Is this an unusual amount of open positions to have? What do you think is causing this?
Well, a couple reasons for us. Of course, we've had a lot more retirements recently, and we had more people leaving the profession after 2020. That was a rough year for law enforcement. We weren't as bad as a lot of other agencies around the country, but we weren't immune to losing some officers at that time as well. And I think, too, a big part of it is, like for me, I hired on in 1989. That was right when they passed the 3/4 cent sales tax. We hired a bunch of police officers in that 5 to 7 year time frame after that. And so now a lot of those officers are retirement eligible. And so with that, I think it's hurt us a little bit and had more people leave. But then also, too, there's not a police department in the country right now that's not hiring. So if somebody wants to be a police officer right now, they can go anywhere in the nation.
So now's the time. Who's like your ideal candidate? Who would be someone that you guys would be looking for?
We want people that, are kind of more of service-minded, service-oriented, but also too, with that protector kind of role with the community. People that want to get involved in the community. Most of the time, it seems to be that a lot of the folks that we are recruiting or that are joining grew up either in Oklahoma or in the Oklahoma City metro area, and they just want to make a difference and be involved in the community. But those folks that again just want something a little bit bigger than themselves. And it's very interesting too, that you mentioned that, because a lot of agencies, including us, are offering, sign-on bonuses. And what we found is that really hasn't made a whole lot of difference, because folks that are wanting to do this job don't really get into it for the money. They're more into it for that service-minded work that they want to get into.
Okay, I get that. Okay, so to help fight some of those staffing issues, though, you guys have recently upped your use of drones, right? Mm-hmm. And you have a new kind of crime center coming to the department. Tell us a little bit about the drone program here and how it's been beneficial.
Absolutely. Our drone program allows us to, it's what we call a personnel multiplier. If we have a subject that we're looking for that maybe is hiding in a field or has gone underneath something like a bridge or just hiding somewhere, normally it takes quite a few officers to surround that perimeter, and then you have to do a more ground type search, maybe utilize canine, which we still can do those things. But if you have that drone, it allows you to cover a lot more area and see things a lot more quickly. A lot of times too, if the weather's not real good or it's just during times when our helicopter might not be in flight, well, now we have that visual in the air to help us identify those individuals that we're looking for.
And have you seen kind of the use of drones make a difference so far in cases?
Absolutely. With lost individuals, we had a suspect. One of our very first apprehensions was a suspect that was believed to be armed, that was underneath a culvert and would not come out. And so, sending an officer into that or even a canine would be very dangerous when you suspect that person is armed. And we were able to send a drone in there and communicate and have that person come out and surrender. It helps too in in de-escalation and the safety of the situation if you don't have to put an officer in there and force a confrontation.
Sure, that makes sense. Sign of the times, right? Technology.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to talk to you a bit about this. We recently ran some findings from a report from the Major City Chiefs Association showing that violent crime was down from year to year in Oklahoma City. Has that been your finding as well? Has that been your understanding as well, that violent crime has been down?
Absolutely. It's still at levels that we don't want any to occur,
sure,
obviously. So we're always doing things to look at how we reduce that. But I think too, like you were talking about the use of technology, but also we have 10 civilian analysts right now. And those analysts, where officers out in the field are running call to call, those analysts have more time to sit back and research. And so if we get a nickname of a suspect or a general description or a vehicle description, they can do a lot of research online and just through law enforcement resources and maybe help us identify those folks. We're used to, we'd have to have staffing and a individual officer or a detective running down a lot of that. Now those detectives and officers still have to run down those leads that the analysts find, but that research time is really valuable because it frees us up to do other things.
Interesting. Okay, last question here. What is currently the biggest area of concern you think in the department? What do you think is the biggest issue you all are facing?
It's staffing.
Okay.
You mentioned major city chiefs, Oklahoma City is a major city. I meet, we meet regularly throughout the year as a group, and every time we go around the room and talk about issues that we're facing, number one is staffing.
And staffing, I'm sure, has that ripple effect on everything else and things that can be accomplished within the city as well. So,
Absolutely.
So applications are open.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
They're looking to hear from you all for the Oklahoma City Police Department. If you've ever wanted to be part of law enforcement, sounds like now's your chance.
Now
Chief
is the
Corley.
time. And, we just held that recruiting event last weekend. It was very well attended. We'll have more of those, and we want more police officers.
Okay, Chief Corley, thanks so much for coming on. Again, we really appreciate you doing with us every month. It's really helpful to our viewers as well. So thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, all right, Jonathan, over to you.